Man, what happened to Tyreek Hill before the game was totally crazy. Out of nowhere, he got detained by the police while arriving at the stadium. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, went on ESPN to explain the situation, but even he didn't really understand what went down. Rosenhaus said Tyreek was pulled over for a traffic violation and got a ticket for reckless driving. But then things just spiraled out of control. Next thing you know, Hill's in handcuffs, on the ground. Everyone was left speechless. Rosenhaus even called it unbelievable. You could tell he was really worried, but the first thing he made clear was that Hill was fine and ready to play. Still, Rosenhaus was seriously bothered by what went down. And who wouldn't be, right? It was heartbreaking, Rosenhaus said. I love Tyreek. I hate seeing him in a situation like this with the police. But look, the most important thing is that he's okay. He's gonna play today. What I understand is that he got a ticket while entering the stadium. But how that escalated to him being in handcuffs on the ground, I just don't get it. You could tell Rosenhaus was upset, but he avoided making any accusations. He said they'd look into the whole thing and make sure Tyreek gets treated fairly, but he didn't want to jump to conclusions until they know more. His main focus right now was making sure Hill was in the right state of mind to play. Even though Tyreek was physically fine, he was really shaken up. And to make it even crazier, Rosenhaus said that Hill has always supported the police. He even told the officers that he wants to be a cop one day. Imagine how confusing this whole thing must have been for him. This whole situation is just nuts, Rosenhaus added. I've never seen anything like this. When they asked Rosenhaus what Tyreek had told him, he said everything happened so fast. Hill was on his way to the stadium, got pulled over by the police, and they immediately got aggressive with him. According to Rosenhaus, the whole thing was unnecessary. He also mentioned the recent incident with golfer Scottie Scheffler, hinting it might be a similar case, but didn't go into detail. What he was clear about was that Tyreek was okay and focused on the game, and they'd handle everything else later. I just want to make sure Tyreek is treated fairly, Rosenhaus said. It's obvious he's going to keep a close eye on what happens next. Even though he was upset, Rosenhaus didn't speculate too much on why Hill was pulled over or how things escalated. He said it's a legal matter, so he has to be careful about what he says, but from his point of view, it all seemed completely unnecessary. I was really worried about Tyreek, Rosenhaus admitted. But thankfully, by the time I got there, things had started to calm down. The Dolphins' head of security, Drew Brooks, did an awesome job handling it. Tyreek's gonna be okay, but we're definitely going to look into this to make sure he wasn't mistreated. At that point, Rosenhaus hadn't spoken directly to the police yet. He mentioned that some of the officers were cooperative, but not all. He's hoping to get more clarity after the game. For now, his priority is that Hill focuses on football. One thing that's still unclear is how long Tyreek was in handcuffs. Rosenhaus didn't know either, but said that no matter how long it was too long. He strongly felt that Hill didn't do anything that justified that kind of treatment. Rosenhaus also gave a shout-out to Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith, two veteran players who stepped in to help Tyreek during the whole thing. He didn't say much about what they did, but it was clear he appreciated their support. In the end, Rosenhaus kept the focus on what really matters. Tyreek Hill is okay, and he's going to play. The rest, they'll figure out after the game.